on.
Look like yours. Let's keep yours that way. I normally can do mine any kind of way. What's going on here? As long as your people can see you, you're fine. Okay, welcome to Real Talk Live with Arnette D. Love, and I'm sitting here today with Mr. Jim Wright, and he is the candidate for the 88th District House of Delegates. Hello, Mr. Jim, how are you?
I am wonderful. Great to be here. Excited to be here.
Great. It's been a long time since we sat together.
God works in mysterious ways.
He does.
Timing is perfect.
Okay, so you're running for the 88th District Delegate seat. Tell me, actually tell the people a little bit about who you are.
Before I start on me,
Go ahead.
I was looking at your resume.
My resume?
Your resume.
Okay.
I need to ask you, you have an incredible resume.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I mean, really, I was looking at it today before I came here. I said, oh my God, look at this.
Oh, wow.
So, you're an accomplished lady.
That's what a lot of people say.
I'm serious. Check her resume out.
I still feel like I got a lot of work to do, y'all.
I don't know, but I tell you what, I was impressed. I was impressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you for inviting me here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a place where there's no clocks, nobody, you're not competing against anybody. You just get to tell the people what you plan to do. So, start off, no time. I like to be 40 minutes or less.
Yeah. We'll go in segments here, I guess, because, I'm back in Portsmouth because I came here, I actually was headed to Virginia Beach.
Oh, okay.
So I actually was coming to my beds in Virginia Beach. So when I left Northern Virginia, I was going to my bed in Virginia Beach, and I stopped to see my father.
Okay.
My dad's here in Portsmouth, and he had dementia. And dementia was, I didn't know how bad it was. I knew something was going on with my dad, but I never left.
Okay.
So he passed away in 2020 before COVID.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
And then Mom got ovarian cancer, and God took her in last November.
Okay.
So I come home not expecting to be with my parents that way.
Right.
But God would move me down here to Portsmouth and not Virginia Beach. And so here I am in Portsmouth. And so I'm involved in watching things going on here in politics in general, and things have been escalating. I always had a desire to run for office.
Okay.
So it's not new.
Gotcha.
But it was not my timing.
Okay.
So basically, things don't always work the way you want in terms of timing. So the bottom line is, so I got a phone call from the Republican Party and said, would you consider running?
Okay.
And I said, well, it was a Friday, and you had to put your hat in the ring by the end of June.
Wow. Okay.
And so I said, look. I said, I don't know. I said, let me talk to family. Let me pray about this. Talk to friends. So some great friends who are watching this now, up in Northern Virginia, pro-life people.
Okay.
And I put an email out on a Saturday, the day after, and I said, I'm thinking about this. And they came back to me, and they said, you've got to run.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, wow, I guess that's my answer. So that begins the process, and then moving from there, it's all the detail. I don't have people in the political world around me, so I'm just kind of going along and making it up as I go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And getting registered.
Okay, so you decided to run, and which I see is a big step because House of Delegates is not like you started locally. So how do you feel? How do you feel about your campaign so far?
I feel wonderful.
Oh, good.
And
good.
actually, the way I built my commercial real estate practice is it feels exactly the same. Because I started in 1984 out of CPA. I left an international firm, Arthur Anderson, to buy a company in Virginia Beach.
Okay.
Couldn't raise the capital. I needed to raise $100,000. And then my partner that got me to do this flaked out.
Okay.
So I got a new partner, but I couldn't raise the money, so I went to my first love was real estate.
Okay.
What you'll see on that piece that ran with Wavy 10 about a week ago, it's a little my resume there, but they were profiling candidates. But anyway, so I actually went to first love was commercial real estate. Now this is going to be important to what I do now.
Okay.
It's really connected. Because I started in '84, I was given a phone book. There's no training in commercial real estate leasing. So office space leasing, you don't have it much down here, but you have a 200 million plus square feet of office space.
Okay.
Not retail, office. Down here is small. Norfolk maybe has 4 or 5 million office in Norfolk.
Okay.
Okay, Tyson says 13 million.
Okay.
Rest of Virginia?
Yes.
9 million square feet of office.
Okay.
That little spot
Have all that office space.
is twice as big as Norfolk.
Okay.
So that's why I'm doing commercial leasing. But essentially, this becomes, because I'm a CPA.
So you're doing it now?
Oh, no.
That's what in the past.
No.
Okay.
I actually left the firm when my wife died 20 years ago.
Okay.
But it's all connected because, so I'm doing this commercial real estate thing with a regional firm. I couldn't get a job with the major firm, which is CB Richard Ellis. They have it now, CBRE. It's the biggest firm in the nation, in the world. So basically, I went to interview with them, and they looked at me, and the guy, I didn't know what he was thinking about. You're an accountant.
Right.
You know, this is deal making. So I couldn't get a job with them, so I went to work with a regional firm. And this is how I get the CB.
Okay.
That's what we call it today, CB. And so I got the right to represent. Sears used to own Coldwell Banker Residential, which is out there today, and the commercial side.
Okay.
You don't know that, but it was all sold in '89.
Okay.
So CB, Coldwell Banker became CB Commercial. Okay, then they bought Richard Ellis, became CB Richard Ellis, that's CBRE, and Coldwell Banker's still out there.
Okay.
But here's what's going on. So I got the right to represent Sears Mortgage.
Okay. Sears.
Now think about this. There's Coldwell Banker, their sister company Sears Mortgage, and I get the right to represent them.
Okay.
So I'm representing Sears Mortgage. Now think about that if you're Coldwell Banker, and this guy's running around with our sister company.
So now you said that's going to help you now as far as being a delegate. How and what?
Well, because what I do and what I did is I represent the tenant. So I started a thing called tenant representation. I was the first one in DC Metro in the Business Journal. So I have an article in '86 to rep the tenant. Quite different. That's a buyer broker today. You know, residential buyer broker.
Yeah, I'm a real estate agent. I know.
Well, I'm the first guy. All of DC Metro to talk because of New York City. So I represent the tenant. So in '86, and from '84 to 1990, I did both sides. I did listings, right? I did the tenant rep. In 1990, I went full time, only representing tenants.
Okay.
So this is important because I represent the user's needs.
Okay.
That's my constituent.
Okay.
And my job was to drive home that deal. So Arnette, if you were looking for office space, you know, back in the '80s, I did small deals. Our smallest was 220 feet.
Okay.
But as I moved up the scale, you know, bigger and bigger. So bottom line is I got better and better at doing this, working with the tenant, working with the client, working with now what we call the constituent.
Okay.
And my whole point is, if I get a hold of your situation, your challenge, and I'm your delegate, that's what I do. I drive things to completion, effectiveness. So, but essentially, to put it all together for you, I worked 2 years to represent Boeing Corp. It took me 2 years, and finally came down to a competition, and I won the right to represent Boeing. I represented Boeing for 10 years. I did all their deals, including their eastern headquarters in Arlington, Virginia.
Okay, so I get that you're excellent in representing people, your constituents, your clients.
Yep, yep.
So tell me, what is your platform going forward? If you become the 88th district delegate, if you get that seat, what is your platform? What are you planning to do?
Well, I have a 10-point plan.
Okay.
Now I'm looking at you, and the camera's over here.
Oh, that's fine.
Should I look over there?
You can look at them because they're the voters.
I know.
I know.
I'm looking at you over here. So anyway, but my objective is to be a great delegate and working for the constituent.
Okay.
Not the tenant, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a 10-point plan, folks.
Okay.
I got a 10-point. It's called Portsmouth Tour of Love.
Okay.
That goes for PTL.
Okay.
Because I'm a believer, as you know.
I do.
And that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Following Christ and His will and His ways is my top priority.
Okay.
So I had this thing, the Portsmouth Love Tour, which is now PTL.
Portsmouth Tour of Love.
But anyway, so the first one on that is life.
Okay.
And I did a Facebook, not a live, but Facebook, but on love,
Mm-hmm.
on life, because if there's no life, no matter who you are, we have nothing.
Okay.
So I'm a life guy, and I'm the founder of Birth Mothers, which is really the reason I'm here, not to do with my parents,
Right.
because I'm pursuing raising a lot of money to take Birth Mothers national.
Okay.
So I'm the Birth Mothers guy running for office.
Gotcha.
That is honest truth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
I sit right here because had I made a different decision 5 years ago, I would be doing deals,
Mm-hmm.
and now I don't make any money, but I used to.
Okay. Okay.
So you see the connection.
Okay. So your first point is love.
Yep.
Of
Life
Okay.
in general.
Okay.
And then another one on Portsmouth.
That's the second one.
Yep.
Love of Portsmouth. Okay.
What about Portsmouth? Well, I grew up in Craddock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Craddock boy. And I didn't know anything about Portsmouth, and I don't think my family knew much either. And so I went to an event. My dad we had help from 10 o'clock in the morning to 4 in the day. In November 15th of 2018,
Mm-hmm.
I went to an event by Portsmouth
Okay.
called 100 Years of Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had no idea about the city. I went to Craddock, so I'm there, and this guy is selling a book called Portsmouth Under Four Flags.
Okay.
Okay, I've never seen it, didn't know about it. I said, well, what do you do? And he says, I'm the historian of the shipyard.
Okay.
So I buy this book for $10. Then they had the presentation about Portsmouth 100 years. I walked out of there, and they got this book. I was like, this Portsmouth is incredible.
Okay.
The history here is incredible. And of course, Cornwallis, being here in Portsmouth and then moving to Yorktown.
Okay.
And then the shipyard, what's the shipyard called? Norfolk Naval Shipyard. Do you know?
No.
You don't?
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead on. I'm listening.
Because it was called Gosport until 1862. Because
Okay.
in England today, you have Portsmouth
Mm-hmm.
and you have Gosport.
Okay.
That's why you have the Gosport Grill over here.
And that's why it explains the Gosport housing.
And there used to be a bridge that went over to the shipyard.
Okay.
And there used to be a creek called Crab Creek. You ever heard of that creek?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, Crab Creek ran up here,
Okay.
and Crab Creek is where the tunnel is today.
Okay. Okay.
But at any rate, that used to be, so you had Gosport, you had Portsmouth, and Civil War in 1862 that changed to Norfolk because this was Norfolk County.
Right.
There's your answer.
Okay, so we got the love of Portsmouth, we got the love of life, love of Portsmouth. And what's the next point?
Next point was the Word of God.
Okay.
My love for the Word of God,
Okay.
for the Bible.
Got you.
That's foundational to my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked through these different points here. Now, then, of course, here in Portsmouth and all across the nation is law enforcement and crime and education. They're the big ones.
Okay.
Education and crime.
So what's your angle with that? What do you plan to do for law enforcement, education, and crime?
Well, I'll tell you this. I can't make a promise as some of my candidates, other candidates make, and I'm talking about Republican and doesn't matter.
Okay.
They say things that they can't do effectively alone, like I'll lower taxes. I can't make a promise to you folks. I'm gonna lower taxes.
But I mean, will you fight the lower taxes?
Yes,
You know,
yes,
that,
yeah. That's
I mean,
all.
because see, you don't have to make that promise that you're gonna do.
Yes, yes. No, I will fight for all those things, and for the life issue. And for example, in schools, I love parents. Parents have been discounted to some degree.
I agree.
And so I want to see parents to have their will. And that's happened here in Virginia. It's been a fight here in Virginia, of course, watching Fairfax County where I came from, and then Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach just conceded, right,
Right.
to the model policy.
Okay.
Anyway.
Because I think parents are getting pushed out of
They were.
the lineup, but I'm not gonna go into that. But yeah, I can agree with you need parents back in where they belong, regulating with their kids. I know without my mom, I would have done a lot of stuff as far as school. My mother was there, knowing what we're supposed to be doing. She knew the curriculum. She knew how to get me into my studies. So yeah, I don't agree with pushing the parents out, but moving right along. So as far as crime, what do you?
Well, the parents are coming back. That's what we're seeing
Good.
across the nation. And of course, if you follow this closely, if you watch Loudoun County,
Okay.
when I got to Northern Virginia, Loudoun County was like pasture land. Now it's known for being liberal, right?
Okay.
Okay. If you watch that whole thing in Loudoun County, but anyway, so that's really important to me is education. I'd like to meet during this time I'm running, meet with the principals of the 3 high schools here and others. I want to know what's going on from their perspective. They don't have so much power, but whatever I could do as a delegate, I want to be supportive of them. The other thing is coming back to health issues. I've had health issues all my life. Okay, since I came out of the womb here in Maryview Hospital.
Yeah, I know some of your story, but
Yeah.
they don't.
Well, anyway, I was born with hemophilia, and I was given last rites. My mom and dad are gone now, but they put forceps on my head to withdraw me from my mom,
Right.
and my head swelled up like a balloon. So I'm a severe hemophiliac. So I was not supposed to make it, and I have a relative that died the same way.
So it runs through your family?
Yes. So my brother's watching now, I'm assuming, my sister, and they don't have it, but that's a part of my makeup.
Right.
So here's what's important too about homeschooling.
Okay.
As I try to look at the camera and look at you.
You can look at them, it's fine.
It's hard, But I went to James Hurst School in Craddock.
Okay.
First school, I missed 4 months of school because I bled.
Right.
I bled internally, etc. So my knees have been replaced now. But anyway, you can't do this, Jim. So I had a tutor come. So you talk about the kids losing 2 years. Well, I lost about 8 years.
Right.
So I'm deficient.
I say right, y'all, because I know his story. I listen to his videos and stuff like that. So I just want y'all to know a little bit about who is running for the 88th district. So how about crime? What do you plan to do about the crime?
Before we move to crime, let's stay with health. I am
Okay, you're going to do something about health as well?
Well, here's the issue. The issue is those people that might be in my constituent with health issues or issues they're trying to get solved, whatever it might be. There's nobody that can empathize and sympathize about health issues more than me.
Okay, I got you.
I've had both knees replaced. I've had more stuff because of health. So when you talk about a person identifying with your need, love, if you had a need, I can actually empathize and sympathize because I've been in and out of the hospital as a kid. I lived at Maryview on and off. So I go to school in the 9th grade, first time, Craddock High School.
So what is your strategy then, for health? What do you do?
There's not a lot I can do as one man. However, I would lobby in the General Assembly for things that have to do with health, as I would do for life, because I'm pro-life from conception to natural death. Okay. So I will lobby for that. But what I would say for the constituent, though, just talking about that, because I represented the client. For 20 years, that's all I did was represent you, the client. Not the corporate, the person. Okay. And so when I think about a person calling me, I want to be accessible. If you go to my resume is the third point. So I said, I got to tell these people who I am. So I didn't say anything about who it was.
Right.
So on my Facebook page, everything's on the Facebook page, which is Jim Wright in Portsmouth, Virginia. There's a bunch of Jim Wrights. There's about 100 in Virginia.
Okay.
We're very common people. And so anyway, but on that point, that's why I talk about transparency.
Right.
And this is a major point for me.
Okay.
I will be the most accessible delegate you've ever met. You will have my cell phone number, love. You will not have to hesitate to reach me ever.
Right.
Why? That's not new to me. For my client Boeing, when Boeing would call me, I'd say, what do you need? We can't come down.
And I mean, that is very important. That's very important that a person can reach out to their delegate and everything. But being that you're running against someone, now I think that the people want to hear, what are your plans? Now, we know you're only one vote. We know that you can only lobby. What are your plans to tackle the health, since you want to stay on health, the health care for people that need it? We know you can empathize with us, or those that need help. My son had asthma all his life, but we know you done been through it, so you know. So what is your plan to make sure that everybody has health coverage?
Well, again, being one vote, I think that going back to the constituent, though, to have somebody like me, if you called me up, you said, I've got a need, whatever it might be, in the insurance world, whatever it might be connected to health. Because I've been dealing with insurance companies all my life, right? It's major. But you called me up, I would take that like a dog with a bone and do whatever I could to make it happen.
Okay.
But in terms of legislation, things like that, that's a broad-based issue, because this is being debated nationally right now and all the time. So I can't submit to you. I have a plan. I have a bill I'll put forward. But once I get inside the tent, as I did in commercial real estate, because when you get in commercial real estate, there's no training. You train in real time in commercial. And so basically, I can't tell you now that there's a plan specifically for health other than that client, that constituent. I would be the guy to call.
Oh, okay.
If you called me up, love, you had an issue, let's say the insurance company, and you've come to the wit's end on insurance, you call Jim, and Jim will see what he can do to unfreeze it, because that's being effective as a broker, being effective as a delegate. I will knock down the doors in order to represent your need in the health world.
Okay. So we did health. You said health, life. You said crime, and you said what else?
Well, crime, education in general, education.
But with crime, because we have a measurable amount of crime here. So, what is your outlook on the crime?
Well, I watched City Council a week ago, not the Tuesday, 10 days ago when it was, almost 2 weeks. And I support Jenkins. I think he's doing an admirable job. Folks, this man has got a tough job. I spent 30 minutes with him back in April or May, 30 minutes with him, and he was talking to me about his challenges being the police chief.
Yeah.
One of the challenges he has, he says, we lock them up, the system lets them out.
Yeah.
So I put posts up on the live, City Council live, and everybody, he says to the people live, this is Tuesday a week ago, he says, folks, we're the police chief. I've got a jail. I've got a jail as my solution. I don't want the people to go to jail. He said, parents, you've got to parent. I can't parent your child. I can't parent your child. When they get with me, there's the only thing I offer is a jail.
Now, and I'm retired law enforcement and also a parent. And one thing I can say, people kill me with that parent this and it starts at home and all that stuff. yes, it starts at home, but I think the governments get a little too involved. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when I am disciplining my child at home, he's being told in school, if your mother put her hands on you, your mother do this to you, you can call the people. And the government got all this stuff, and I know this for a fact. I done arrested people myself for it. And matter of fact, my son called the police on me when I told him he wasn't leaving my house after sunset when he was 15. And so I know this is what they're being told. And luckily, I think it was Officer Bleeding. Came to my house. And he was a white man, and he was big. And I was like, I'm going to jail, right? This was in 2020. I was running for office. I said, I'm going to jail. And so he got there, and he looked my son in the face and saw that smirk. And when I tell you, he went off on my son.
Ooh.
I was so proud. I was like, thank you, Lord. You said the right person. And I mean, because my son was taking advantage of what he had been taught in school. And so I just feel like sometimes, yeah, it starts at home, but what happens when we are blocked from doing the job of a parent because the government gets too much in our business?
Wow.
You know, all I did was push my son back. He called them dispatch, you know, and told him my mom putting her hands on me. That's what he said. They sent the police right there. They sent him right there. And so my child, I didn't even have to spank this one. He's so spoiled. I just give him a look. But because he could, he did. You know, and so we can say it starts at home, but sometimes at home our hands are tied too, depending on the mentality of the child as well, you know. And so I'm with Chief Jenkins and all that stuff. But then you got some of these parents are scared to do anything to their child. Some of them scared of their child.
You know, I was chased around in first grade with hemophilia with a ruler by my teacher. So I was chased around, not beaten to death, but you know, I'm kind of hard to control.
I was too.
So anyway, they wouldn't do that today, would they?
No,
they
of
wouldn't
course they
touch you.
wouldn't.
So I'm with you. It's got out of balance, of course. So I don't have the answer for everything, but I can tell you right now, I want you to be more in control than the cops,
Absolutely.
or the teacher. I mean, this stuff's gotten out of control because. Can you imagine being a parent and your son or daughter is playing a different gender and you don't know about it?
Well, I don't agree with the parent not knowing. That goes back. That's why I didn't want to get into it. It goes back to pushing the parent out. I do not agree with not telling me that my child prefers to be called this or that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and there's no offense. I'm going to love mine regardless.
Right,
you know,
sure.
But I don't want to be kept in the dark. I want to know what my kid is doing, what they're asking for, what they're needing. You know, that's the way I feel. So yeah, parents
I feel
should
the
be,
same way.
You know, I don't think you should. You know, they got into like when my son was still in school, they were like, we don't have to let you know when we search their bag. Yeah, because they telling you don't have to let us know, but I should know if you touch my kid or anything belonging to my kid. See, that's why I love being independent, because I get to just go with what I feel is right and what I feel is wrong, and I'm not, you know, siding with anybody, you know. And that's because I was Democrat. Everybody that knows me, my history. I was Democrat, but I feel more free right now.
Are you independent now?
Yes.
Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Because
I need a few independents to come out of the Democratic Party to vote for me.
Well, I got to make sure you're right, Jim. So that's why I got you here now.
Yes.
You know, I got to make sure you're right. I'm going to talk to Don Scott, and I got to make sure that, you know, I'm comfortable with what's going to happen when you get to the House of Delegates, right? So with the crime now, so what, Do you have any idea of how you would want to support the crime, reducing the crime?
Well, with specific, Don Scott can tell you all the specifics since he's been in the office for 4 years. I don't know exactly what I would do, but I can tell you right now that being a part of that, I think about being with your patrol car or something like that and watching. I want to see it up close. And so, but talking about what's happening here, Jenkins, I thought, did a great job. Do you like what he said?
Yeah, I heard what he said.
I mean, basically, he's not a perfect, but he's in a tough spot, right?
He really is.
And so I throw it out there. I'm for you, man.
I mean, I think that we can talk about stuff all day long. We can say what needs to happen, but until we put action behind it and finances behind it, we're just blowing smoke.
That's right.
I personally would have went with, matter of fact, had I been on city council,
Yes, tell me.
I personally would have went with the shots fired.
The more expensive one?
Yeah, I would have went with that because it does work. It's proven in other cities that it works. They hear the gunshot and in seconds they can pinpoint where it's roundabout coming from. I would have given that to them. I would have let them have that.
He called that like the Mercedes, and he got the Chevrolet. How did he term it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but he said there's one up here that costs so much money. And they got the second, the Chevrolet, if you will. They have one that's functioning, I assume, but it's not the top shelf. So how much money was involved there? Do you know?
No, I don't remember how much money was involved. I didn't research to talk about, but I'm just saying, if it saves lives, if it's going to help deter crime, that would be my goal. I mean, we can't get lives back. We got our young people dying in these streets consistently, and we can't get that back. So you can't put a price on a life.
Well, that same night, 3 mothers talked about their pain. It was so touching. Did you watch this too? Talking about their relative, maybe not their son or daughter, but
I've seen it.
The pain
a lot.
But this was on city council.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But I'm sitting there going, wow, this is the motivator for me.
But what I'm saying is, I've seen it so much that it just is painful for me to keep watching the same thing, y'all. And please forgive me, but to see mothers keep coming back to city council crying about their children is just painful and draining to me.
Tell me, what could city council do, in your opinion?
Listen. How about listening?
All right, after that.
Listen to the professionals, the ones that's been doing this.
They're forming a committee.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess it's never too late.
Well,
I'm just saying.
No, and also they suggested somebody be from the citizen like you, people be on this new board, because they talk, right? People want action, right?
They probably won't put me on that board.
You understand that you're a real estate person. You know how much money I made from the company?
Oh, I
Zero.
can only imagine. Why? Why you didn't make any money?
No, I made money. I made commissions. I made a deal. Like you, and there's no salary, zero.
Right? No, absolutely not.
So I understand what working for your client is, your constituent, and so I can be successful helping that person. But whatever I could drive home, and like you said, they should have bought the Mercedes, right?
I would have voted for it.
And I don't know how much money was involved between the two, but that's city council, right? That's not the. Is that the?
The city council had to approve it.
You think that had he pushed the Mercedes of that system, they could.
He put it out, and I think that was when Chief Prince was there when they put it out initially, and they asked for it, and it should have been taken into consideration. To me, I mean, this is what I believe. I'm from Portsmouth. I was born and raised in Portsmouth. Can't nobody love Portsmouth like I love Portsmouth, because this is my home. This is the way I feel, and when you bring people and put them in these different spots and they're not from here, I don't feel they can love our home the way we love our home. That's just my opinion. You ain't gotta like it, but if you from another state, you're not gonna understand my pain like I understand my pain in my backyard. Cause I'm gonna give attention to what's going on in my backyard. Your head's still somewhere else from where you came from. You're concerned about that as well.
And do you know that point is happening in Virginia? Because these people come from the north, up north in Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia went from a bedroom community to D.C. to its own thriving. But a lot of the libs came down here with technology. They used to call it Silicon Valley East. But the people coming to the legislature that aren't Virginians, that weren't born here. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't relate when you don't have skin in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't walk these streets as a child, parades, school events and stuff. My heart is in Virginia. I came back from Georgia to be home, to give back to my home, and you just a true person of the city would feel the same way I feel. I want to do everything possible to protect our children, to protect our citizens and everything. And I'm not running for anything right now.
You sound good.
People
still
trying to get me to run for city council. Since y'all didn't want me on school board, they trying to get me to run for city council now. But I'm not running for anything right now. I'm just saying how passionate you should be when you sit yourself, I was going to say tail, but when you sit yourself on one of those boards, when you get elected, you should be passionate at least about your own home. And to see people get killed weekly, daily, and not sitting here running around trying to figure out, hey, how can we stop this? And I would have multiple meetings with the police chief and the sheriff and see what we need to do. And yes, I would go into the community because I'm used to going and talking to kids anyways, and I'm used to kids being at my house with my sons.
Let me talk to the camera. Folks,
right here.
You hear what she just said? That's me. If you're out there and you're at a black church here in Portsmouth, please invite me. Anybody out there, I will go any place, anytime, and I want to come see you. So if you see this, I want to come to your church. You can ask me all the questions you're asking me, whatever, but please invite me. What she just says is my spiel. Wherever you are, that's what I said, when you look at my Facebook post, I said, I'm available 24 hours a day. You don't have to call me 8 to 5.
Right.
So I'm your delegate. I'm your delegate full time.
And that's fine. I normally, I don't go into the churches. I don't want to speak to your church. And the reason why I don't want to speak to your church, because I don't want to be that person that's going to come and just solicit and votes. And then I don't come back until time for me to come again for votes. I want you, what I want is for you to call me. I want you to email me. I want you to text me. I want you to ask me your questions that you have for me. That's how I do. But I don't really want to come to your church. I'm not going to ask them. That's just me though, because I already seen it too much. People come to the church when they want the vote. And then we don't see them again for 4 years. Because before I became a candidate, I was in the background of politics. So I saw this all the time, and I'm like, man, we ain't seen you in 4 years. What do you want? So, a vote. So I prefer not to, don't invite me to your church. Now, if you just want me to come, I'll come. But I'm not going to ask you, but I'm going to sure make myself available before you vote for me to ask and answer your questions and everything, because I'm not going to change. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me. And when I say I'm going to go into the community, it's because I know that I can relate in the community. It don't make, you can't, if you don't relate to the people in the community, ain't where you going, because they ain't going to listen to you. If you haven't been there, walked that walk and talk that talk, I ain't always been this person. I was out there, and so I can relate to some of the stuff that they're going through. And so, yeah, I have no problem with going to the community, and it's not your campaign I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people we got sitting right now will not go into the community.
What?
Have you seen any of them in the community?
Talking about council?
Well, them too. Have you seen them?
No.
I'm just saying. maybe I'm wrong,
Well,
but
well,
I ain't
I was
seen it.
I was at the citizen meeting there in Ebony Heights, and Mark was there, but Mark Hugo was physically there, over there in church.
I guess you can say that's the community.
Well, I mean, he showed up. He showed
I ain't
up.
talking about no civil league meeting. I'm talking about going into the community, the battleground. I would go in there and start talking
Well,
to those
let me
kids.
say this to the camera. Can you hit that button for me?
Let me see what
it's,
you got going
it's
on.
right out of time. Just hit the.
Oh, okay.
It's perfect. I don't know.
It's the.
But here, I love what you're saying. I went to National Night Out here in Portsmouth, a month ago, and I wasn't going to go. A couple people were going, no, I'm not going. I went by myself.
Okay.
I went by myself, and I drove up there, and I have a cane, and I saw this golf cart in the distance, and I parked my car in front of the jail, and I walked down with my cane, and I was thinking, it'd be nice to be on that cart. Now, what happened next? I walk up with a group of people, and a cane comes out, and it's Prince. And Prince says to me, I was like shocked. I said, "You're back? What happened?" He said, "I got hired last night." So then he calls for the cart. So I'm on the cart I envisioned, and next part I see the mayor. And I had this little thing here I had designed. It's kind of cute, isn't it?
Okay.
Anyway, then Jenkins came up, and I said, and this is what I said to Jenkins: I'm available. I will go any place. I don't know how many candidates really go when they say they're going. Over the last 5 years, I've been back home, but I'm going.
Okay.
There's no neighborhood, there's no place. I'm available. Now, had others done that? I don't know. I'm just telling you now that you're running for office. I always say you got to go to the black community here, and I'm not sure if they did or didn't, but I never saw it.
Well, I mean, I'm
Maybe
sure
they
they
did,
go
maybe
somewhere, but I'm not talking about just a general visit as far as they got something going on and I'm showing up. No, I'm talking about I'm going out there and talk to the people.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I can do,
yes.
you know what I'm saying? Because I can do that.
Yeah.
Because I can get out there and relate to them.
Well, once you're elected, you're going to get a phone call. If you have your phone number blazoned out there, I'm sure you'll get some calls, right, from needy people.
Oh, I don't have to be elected. Y'all know I'm coming. And the only thing that stopped me is my kids. My children are the ones that mama stay out the hood. That's the only thing that stopped me. But I go visit the hood. Shoot, my sons be like, "Where you been?" Because I'm like, I know I'm older now, but this is my town. This is my city. Portsmouth belongs to me. That's the way I feel.
You want to join my campaign?
I can't join your
You
campaign.
can't? Why?
I can't. I have to be. I can't be here and get all y'all information for the people, and then I be biased. No, I can't.
I want you biased.
I can't be biased. I have to be non-biased. I got to listen to all of you guys. Bring all your information to the people, so to help them decide who they want to be. Who they want to be. I don't even really show up for much for anybody. I haven't even voted yet. I'm trying to make sure that I know who deserves my vote, my little one vote. I haven't even voted. I'm waiting. I like the way
Good.
I get to weigh the pros and the cons. So what else you want to tell us?
Well, I'll move to what I find is my strong suit, the strongest. Obviously, being a believer is my foundation, right, for my life. But actually, it's business.
Okay. Being a believer is business?
No, I'm saying being a believer, that's the foundation. No, I'm talking about corporate business.
Okay.
I'm passionate about business. Now, I'm an entrepreneur, so I have birth mothers, which is no money in that. Now, that's what I was talking about earlier.
Gotcha.
Trying to raise $100 million. We spent $2 million before the crash, so I know it works. So I'm looking for a major donor.
Gotcha.
That's why I'm here. Because 5 years ago, I wanted to pursue corporate, big people, big bucks, right? But so when I look at what's happening down here, I don't know exactly what happened, but I know that Amazon came and went to Suffolk and went to Chesapeake.
Yeah.
And I know Amazon came and went to Virginia Beach. And I'll just tell you folks, if I were your delegate, that deal would not be getting out of Portsmouth. That unloading right here The docks is right here. It was perfect to be here, and I don't know what happened. I don't have any news about what happened, but I can just tell you right now, as your delegate, there's nobody you want in the deal than me. It would not get away. That's what I did for a living.
Gotcha.
Let me give you an example of what I did that's kind of neat. It's kind of funny, too. I was representing GE Aerospace, government contractor, right? Subsidiary of GE. And we had to be downtown in a certain area where the client was.
Okay.
The agency, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Secret, type. You don't know that. You never tell you it.
What do you mean? I know now. I spent time in the military.
Okay, you know what I mean. You know better than most. Okay, well, I did a lot of work in the black world, doing these secret things. So Joe says to me, "Oh man, we can't get the deal done. I said, Joe, we're not done yet. Now I have to recruit my client now.
Okay.
Joe, we're not done yet." He says to me, Jim, you're the darndest person I ever met. He said, if there's a pile of manure in the barn, you're going to dig down and find a bony.
Okay.
And I got that deal done. That's how I say, with Boeing, for 10 years, they're trying to knock me off my horse. So every competitor is trying to, after winning the right to represent, but they're trying to get me all the time. You can't be falling down. Like you would say, love you say to them, give me a 2,000 square foot deal. Please, Mr. Boeing. Well, I can't let that happen because you get inside the tent. Suddenly you got 50,000 square foot deal, right? Okay. So my point is really representing that client, that tenant, and loving that tenant, but getting it done, effectiveness. So all I can tell you now, going back to business, I wish Amazon was here with 1,000 jobs.
Well, I can tell you about Amazon.
Tell me.
They got jobs, but let me tell you, it ain't easy. It's not easy. They got them guys standing on their feet. It's a 10-hour shift. I think they on their feet 9 hours. I ain't gonna say all of them, but a lot of them. And I might be like, some people might go, oh, that's good for them. No, it's not. 9 hours on your feet. And how do I know? Because that was my son's first job.
Whoa.
His first job, and he was like, Mama, it's harder than playing football. So, I mean, yeah, they got the jobs. They got the jobs, but is it worth your health? I know I can't do it. I can't stand on my feet for 9 hours out of a 10-hour shift. But whoever can, hip hip hooray.
Well, there's other jobs too. The other tenants. What's happening right now with the governor? He's trying to develop a ready-made site. You know that?
Okay.
There's a lot of corporations that are coming down from the Northeast, like New York State.
Okay.
And so they're skipping us. They're skipping us because we have taxes, corporate tax. Where do you have no corporate tax?
They skipping Portsmouth. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm talking about Virginia.
Oh, they're skipping Virginia.
Virginia. Where do they go? Tennessee.
Okay.
Florida. No corporate tax.
So how do you?
I would submit to you, and I'm sure the governor would like this too. He's got 2 years to go, but I really think that we need to see those corporations coming out of the Northeast, coming out of New York State, especially New Jersey, coming to Virginia. We just had a net increase in employment population in Virginia. Do you know that? We just ticked up. We've been losing population.
But what do you suggest to get them here?
Well, I'm saying that as a delegate, I'd be just one of 100 votes, right? But I'm saying to you that fixing the corporate tax here would be a help for a corporation not skipping us, but coming to us. Because these corporations come out of New York State, using New York, for example, or Illinois, coming out here, they're going to Florida. There's no corporate tax. Texas, no corporate tax. Tennessee.
So these people that make all this money, you're saying that it's best that we don't get any tax money from them so they can just come here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but that's their corporate tax. But that's what it takes to get the jobs here. If they're skipping us and going to Carolina or going to Tennessee or going to Florida, they have 320 corporate headquarters.
I get that, but all these people that they gonna come here and make all this money in this area, yeah, we're gonna get jobs here. But everybody that's working for them gotta pay taxes.
Yep.
But they don't.
They'll pay lots of taxes other than the corporate tax.
Okay.
No, look at it.
I will.
We're going that way. mark it
I
down.
gotta
We're
look
going
at
that
that a
way.
little bit more.
From a business, if you're a corporation, you've got, you know,
Of course, I'm gonna go around
20,000 people, 20,000 people in your employ, and you're looking where to go. Does Florida look good? Does Tennessee look good?
Of course, if they don't have to pay taxes.
That's the state.
I get that.
So right now, even Youngkin was proposing, I think, cutting 1% off or something like that. He didn't get it done, but maybe going forward he can. But my point is, growing the state employment for employees is key.
Yeah, it's key. At what cost, though? At what cost? Because see, when you it's still gonna raise crime too. Because just look at them. You bring these corporations here, they don't pay the taxes and stuff, but they making millions.
There's lots of taxes being paid, not the state.
Okay, tax. So they don't get to pay what the state tax.
State tax.
Okay.
State income tax.
Okay, so then you pay the lowest of that you can for the employees to work. Employees still struggling and stuff. You still got. I say you got more crime. You know, more jobs, so you're gonna have more crime.
Well,
I don't know. We have to really look at that.
Well, I've been looking at it for many years, for decades.
Okay, you don't see that can bring more crime.
No, there's going to be crime, but you got to have employees. You got to have people. Otherwise, you have no job. You have no job. It's like the Amazon job.
Well.
If you're paying $70 an hour at the minimum job at Amazon, that's a good job if you can stand it, like you can be on your feet.
If you can stand it.
I know a lady. I talked to a lady that ran a lot. She didn't stand, but she ran a lot. She did, but there's lots of jobs at Amazon.
Yeah, I would have to see. I have to wait all day. I want to know what they're going to pay them and everything.
I want to grow Portsmouth. Period.
Yeah.
I want to grow Portsmouth with corporate users. There's lots of land still on Victory Boulevard where a corporate user could come in. I'm just saying there's one impediment has been the tax structure, the Virginia state income tax for corporate tax. It's common to know, but the states that have no tax, like Texas and Florida, they get the action.
Of course they do. Of course they do.
But I would like to have some action here, right? Now, what about Amazon? Do you know anything about Amazon in Northern Virginia?
No, I don't study Amazon. I just tell you from experience.
These are issues that are important to the corporate world.
But they here in Virginia, so I mean, they could have came to Portsmouth. The question is, why didn't they come to Portsmouth?
Well,
that's the question.
Amazon just occupying their two towers, 2.1 million square feet in two towers. They're about to get paid, and Arlington County has to pay them tax incentives for coming, right, in the state of Virginia? Because they've hired 8,400 people so far.
Okay.
Miss Love, 8,400 people.
That's a lot of people.
Just a little bit down,
a
little bit here, right?
I mean, they're in Virginia, though. I mean,
I'm trying to give you my advantage. I'm a corporate business guy. I've lost more money than most people make.
I get you.
And that's painful. But bottom line is, I will be an advocate for Portsmouth business that helps the having employees so we can have some better income.
Okay.
And so I talk about Amazon because it pains me that Amazon skipped over Portsmouth. With the port running right here, you understand they'll be trucking stuff from the port?
I know, I sit on the board.
Oh, okay.
So I do understand. And
okay. So am I right? Am I right?
Be,
they're trucking it from the port up to Virginia Beach once they get there?
My question would be, why did it skip over Portsmouth? That's what
I want to be.
Know.
You elect me, and we'll find out.
You're supposed to know already, Jim. You're supposed to come in and say, "Love." They skipped over Portsmouth because Portsmouth this, and this. You're supposed to tell me why they skipped over Portsmouth before I elect you.
Well, I can't. But you might have the answer. But why don't you share with the audience the answer?
I don't have the answer, y'all. I'm messing with you.
Did somebody drop the ball in Portsmouth?
I don't know why they skipped over Portsmouth. I really don't. It could have just been the space where it's located in Suffolk. It could have been.
It's a long truck, literally a truck from the port to Suffolk, to the port to Virginia Beach. I'm just saying, if I'm your man, I will after it like a dog with a bone. And I will be in there talking because I did big deals. I did one of the largest deal in Northern Virginia, 310,000 square feet.
Right.
Now, when you're doing that kind of deal, you understand there's a lot of tension there.
Of course it is. It's tension when you do the maternity deals.
My point though is that when they come to town, they being whomever that might be, I want to be at the table. As your delegate, I want to be at the table. You're not getting away.
I get you. He want to be at the table. I just, with me, I like for you to come and tell me, look, this is what I got planned for this. This is what I got planned for this. Of course, I know you only one vote, but you're going to lobby. I'm going to lobby for this. I'm going to bring this to the table, and we're going to see what happens.
When you say bring to the table an idea?
Yes. When you sit home, because I know you sit home and think. And so when you sit home and you be like, okay, if we did this, I think we can curtail this crime. If we did this, I think that we can change the way education is looked at, or the way they're bringing this education stuff.
I'll be honest with you. The only thing that saves America, not just Portsmouth, but it's coming back to the roots of.
If I vote for you from Portsmouth, I want to see action in Portsmouth.
Well, let me tell you right now, though. I think that short of revival of this nation, spiritual revival, our time is limited.
Right.
Because we have moved away from the basics of the Bible. Sealing. You took the Bible. When did you took the Bible out in 1963?
But see, that's something that we're gonna have to live with. And the thing is, you and I.
No.
What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, you and I believe in the Bible, but there are so many people who don't believe in the Bible. So many people out there that don't believe,
And they're growing. That element's growing.
Yes, and so these are the people. Also, you need their votes too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So. I get what you're saying, and those of us who do believe in Christ, we're going to have to intercede, of course. We're going to have to pray and intercede because we got so many people that just not going to do it, and they're going to call you out every time. They don't want to hear nothing about the Bible and all that stuff. So I get that part. So what do you do about the people that don't want to hear it? So you got to reach them too.
Well, let's look at what happened. The Supreme Court in 1962 took out prayer. 1963 took out the Bible.
Was it 62? Because I prayed in school.
I'm telling you, 1962 is when the court removed. You may have prayed, but the court said you don't have to do that.
Okay.
1963, the Bible came out. It's taken this much time. Where people that are older than me, they grew up praying in school and in quiet time. So basically, you had the 10 Commandments removed. Here's what happened. Do you know what just happened last year that's not made the news much? There's a major development, and I mean major. The Lemon Rule was overturned from 1971. L-E-M-O-N, folks.
About the cars?
No. Lemon was a wet blanket over society regarding religious activities. Right now, Texas is trying to bring the Bible back to schools because of the Lemon Rule. That Roman rule started with Kennedy, Coach Kennedy, the coach who was praying at the halftime, or that went to the Supreme Court. Coach Kennedy up in Massachusetts. Well, this didn't make fanfare, but last fall they overturned the Lemon Rule. Check it out, L-E-M-O-N, folks. It changes America. You can now answer your question. You said, what can we do? What's happening? You're going to see more suits now. You're going to see lawsuits because the Lemon Rule was overturned. There was a blanket over America until last fall. Okay. L-E-M-O-N.
Okay, but and so we bring it.
Please go back. My phone's probably on run.
It's about to die, but they still should be recording.
Very good. Leave it go. It's fine.
It's going to give us more freedom as far as our religious.
Just an open society. Open. You've been shut down over the years. By ACLU, it shut you down in the high school, and now you have other organizations that they're not winning like you used to.
But we still have so many people that, have just walked away from the religion and stuff like that.
It's probably 10 to 20% are called none, have nothing.
And so
life, here, let's go back to the life issue. When I started this conversation about life being most important.
Go ahead.
If you don't value life, you value nothing. And what's happening in society, in my opinion, is because you remove God, you remove the Bible, you remove life, the value of life, then people shoot each other. There's no qualm about it anymore, less at least. So I believe that there needs to be a revival in Portsmouth. And actually, I have my men's group. I got an old guy. He's a great friend. He's 93, and he's going to speak at the men's group on revival in Portsmouth. But it needs to be all over the place.
And I mean, I don't disagree. That's why one of the reasons why I know you got my invite to the prayer breakfast. We invited all the
I didn't get it.
politicians. I sent to your email.
You did?
About it.
What day?
Last week sometime. I sent it all the politicians. Whatever email you had on that list downtown.
Yeah. Well, it's
I
I
sent
get
it to
300
them.
today, so I'll search for it.
Yeah, and so we invited the politicians, local politicians. We invited the people that's on the ballot to this prayer breakfast on November the 4th.
Ooh.
Because I do believe in the power of prayer.
Good. I'll be there.
And it's not the post legion, it's the district legion. So it's going to be people from all over our district of the American Legion. So definitely 9:30. And the community is invited as well. And there is a $10 price for the breakfast, but of course the prayers are free. And we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray.
Oh, this is awesome.
We're gonna pray. So I believe I'm with you with Christ.
Gracious.
I'm there with you. I just know that there's so many people who just don't believe, and we have to be intercessors.
Can they believe? Can they start to believe?
I believe they can.
I'll give you my opinion. Transgenderism, this whole movement, with over 300 clinics in America trying to change somebody's sex, I believe is a tipping point. I think people have seen this, and this has been so awful that this is kind of a turning point. I think that, and I'm hearing other people talk about this in the last several weeks, that they're seeing a movement of revival. I'm just saying that transgenderism is kind of the tipping point. It's so awful to hear these people screaming now that the women had their breasts removed and other things. I mean, saying, I wish I had not done this.
Yeah,
anyway,
I have seen.
I'm just telling you it's a tipping point.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
have
opinion.
seen some of them regret the decision that they made, and so like I said, all I do is pray. That's all I can do is I pray.
Amen.
Will
you pray about supporting me?
I'm.
Will you pray?
What I'm gonna do is pray that I can choose the best candidate for me.
Good.
That's what I do.
Are you going to announce that publicly when you?
No, I won't announce it because I won't announce it. I won't announce it. I won't announce it, and I won't because nobody was announcing me. Y'all won't announcing me. Y'all won't say vote for Arnette, and I'm not doing that. No.
Well, I was. By the way, we were together for 18 months on Thursdays, and I tell the story, and you never heard me say this, but we were standing here praying at the end of the day, and we're holding hands at the end of the lunch, and Arnette says something. I said, what'd she say? So I got up after we broke from prayer. I said, what'd you say? Something about we didn't throw out Jim Wright. I know somebody there wanted to throw me out, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
And she defended me. Now, she's not saying she'll vote for me, but she defended me. Is that right?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So I got a support one time.
Yeah, listen, I'm fair across the board. I gotta hear Don come. He's gonna come, and I'm gonna talk to Don too. And that's just how I am. I'm gonna rerun my interview with Tony Goodwin and the interview that I had with the Senator Lucas. I'm gonna repost that as well. I think that people should make their own decisions. I don't want to sway anybody because I don't like people swaying people against me. So I want you to make your own decision on who to vote for. And that's really why I won't say who I'm voting for. I don't vote for who I vote for. Vote for who you feel is best for you.
Well, let me tell you, folks, she supported me once, so it was a pleasure. She really did.
I ain't gonna let nobody dog him out. No. So, any last words you'd like to say to the people? Just talk to them and.
Well, I thank you for this opportunity, Arnette. It's just love. It's just awesome. I was with her for 18 months on Thursdays, so They didn't invite me back after COVID, but
Me either.
you either? Okay, we're both out. So, if you're going to vote, consider me. You go to my Facebook page, again, Jim Wright in Portsmouth, and send an email to me. Email is jimwrightreadytoserve@gmail.com. jimwrightreadytoserve@gmail.com. But call me's better. Call me, folks. 703, so that's my number for 28 years, 703-624-7121. Again, 703-624-7121. Call me.
And how can they support your campaign?
Oh, yes. If you call me up, I'll give you the link to to donate to my campaign. That'd be awesome. But that link's it's a PayPal account ready to go.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jim Wright.
It was fun.
Yes, it was. I loved it. And thank you all for joining Real Talk Live with Arnette D. Love. And, of course, y'all know that I'll be coming back with something else for you. And hopefully I can get Mr. Don Scott, Delegate Don Scott,
Yeah.
who's
Come
the
on,
current
Don. Come on, Don.
88th House of Delegate incumbent right now. So we're going to try to get him up there. I have been in talks with him. Just got to get his schedule together, okay? So thank you so much for joining. All right.
you.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.